never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through.
Hey guys, Coach Dan here. Time to cap the week off strong, wrap the week off, finish the week off strong. We're going back workout to finish the week. So finish deadlifts and lower body yesterday. So this is almost like a nice little cherry on top to finish things off. So this back workout starts off with more upper back stuff. So the way in which I structure my back days is that the first day I start off with more lat dominant stuff, and then this day I start off with stuff more upper back dominant, and I'll show you how to distinguish the two of those when training and rowing and doing your pulling movement. So if on day one of the week we're doing the lat stuff to start off with while we're the freshest, hopefully I can put good intensity into those, and maybe the upper back doesn't get as good, and then we switch it around on this day. So we start off with upper back, and then we move into lats later, and we got some biceps as well. So that's how I structure it. I almost imagine that to be not important at all, but for me, just making sure I'm ticking all the boxes as usual. We got a nice quiet gym, so we're going to crush it this morning. Foggy, cold morning, maybe keeping the people away, but not us. We keep slaying. All right, let's go. First pulling movement for the upper back. Okay, when training the upper back, we're thinking about the different ways in which the traps specifically, well, they're different functions. So if you think about the traps, they're like a big diamond muscle that kind of heads into the bottom of your skull, and then kind of fans out and then kind of comes in towards your spine. And it will do things such as shrugging, retraction of shoulder blades, and then downward rotation of the shoulder blades. So, and different angles within that. So when we're doing our upper back pulling movements, if we're doing multiple movements for that muscle group, we probably want to work through those functions. Maybe not in the same workout, maybe not even in the same week, but across time. So we're thinking, okay, something where we retract our shoulder blades, all right? Something where we maybe go up and shrug a little bit to kind of get the upper part of the traps, and then even something where we pull down, which I'm doing all of those today. So ticking all the boxes. Now this may not be absolutely necessary, but I find it makes enough sense to me to have some exercise variation to tick all those boxes. Like, is this particular pulling movement not working some of those other ones that might be working when we downwardly rotate the shoulder blades? Maybe it is working them all, but again, it makes sense to vary movements if you have the capacity. Like if you don't like varying exercise, or you don't have much equipment, or whatever it might be, obviously you're restricted by that, but if you can, why not tick those different boxes just in case? Anyway, with that spiel out of the way, so this one is going to be a chest supported row. Chest supported row for upper back I think is not absolutely essential, but it's really helpful, which it allows us to kind of roll the shoulder blades forward and let all the traps and upper back stretch out, and then we can retract it at the back. For this one, I'll take a neutral grip, and you'll see that for the upper back rows versus lat dominant rows, whereas lats we want pretty close to the body and kind of coming in tight towards the spine. Upper back, our arms come away from the body a little, and we retract and protract the shoulder blades. So we lock in like such. This is a neutral grip, so palms facing towards one another. Lock in, grab the handles, chest on the pad, let it all roll forward. Drive and squeeze shoulder blades at the back. Roll forward and drive back and squeeze. I very much like this variation. You're locked in, it feels effective, it feels like the path works well, it feels like I can use what I'm trying to use well. And those are all good signs. All right. enough chit chat. Let's hit it. Okay, so next up we have a seated row variation. We're using this mag grip. Our handle's going to kind of be something like that, and it's going to be for the upper back. So when it comes to the upper back again, the other one, we've got kind of coming horizontally like this. Now we're thinking I'm going to lean back on this one. So if we think about that diamond shaped part of the upper back, some of the fibers kind of coming up and in towards the spine and base of the skull. Because I'm going in this position, it's almost like that shrugging up, slightly up. Like, so it's not a shrug like this necessarily, like if I had some dumbbells or a bar, but I'm slightly leaning back, and we're kind of going in towards the upper part of the trap, but not just standardly like this. So showing you what I'm doing, it's a lean back here, and then shrugging back and up. And I'm still rolling the shoulder blades forward, because again, if we think about the traps, one of their main functions is to kind of retract the shoulder blades and move the shoulder blades. So we're leaning back on that slight angle, so we're going towards the upper part of the traps. Obviously not standardly like this, as I said, but towards the upper part. So today we've got that row variation, which I just completed, which is kind of coming horizontally, so that retraction of the shoulder blades. Now we're leaning back a touch, so we're going slightly up, and then later on we have a pull down, so we've got that downward rotation of the scapula. So we're trying to go through a lot of the different functions of the upper back, although not everything. We're not sort of, you could get excessive here and do every single angle known to man, but we're just going to kind of try and tick all the boxes, a couple of sets of each before we move into lats. So 2 sets here, find our weight, and then we'll go for it. About 10 to 15 reps here, I think, so a little bit higher. Lower trap pull down next. So people would consider the pull down synonymous with lat training. They call it a lat pull down. But depending on how we do it, we can get a lot more focus for the lats or for the upper back. So I do a pull down on my other back day, where I have a neutral grip and I'm dropping my elbows kind of nice and tight to my body, almost as if I'm trying to put them into my pocket. And that's going to be more latty. If we think about the lats, they're a muscle that attaches at the front of your arm, comes down and wraps under your rib cage and heads in towards your spine and down towards your pelvis. And then The upper back, as mentioned before, is like a diamond-shaped muscle heading to the bottom of your skull, kind of fanning out to the side, and then heading back in towards the spine. So with that in mind, if I want to make a pull down more about the upper back, I'm going to lean back a little bit more so I can get my scapulars to move. So it's going to be, again, if we think about where we've been so far, we've done a horizontal pulling movement. We've done another horizontal pulling movement, but with a lean back. So we almost have that shrugging sensation. And now we're going to pull down such that the scapulars come down. So we're ticking all the boxes of the function of that muscle group by coming at it from different angles here. So with all that said, we've got the straight bar up here, which I'll pull down in a second, and we're going to lean back and we're going to let the shoulder blades come up and then down and rotate down. So it's the scapulars moving is what we want here. So I'll take it just outside shoulder width thing, grip, tuck down, slightly lean back, pull down into my chest, let the shoulders roll up, and then repeat. So to be completely fair, I added this into my program last week. So I haven't quite figured it out perfectly, but the rationale and the logic is there from what I've discussed. We're trying to make sure we train the function of the traps where the scapulars rotate down. Will this get some lats? For sure, but we try and bias it as much towards the lower traps as possible. All right, let's stop fucking around and get into it. Okay, upper back stuff done. So now we work into some lat stuff. So with the lat dominant movements, the arm is now going to stay close to the body. So you think about if we were doing away for the body for the upper back, because the scapulars then have to move to kind of get the movement done. Here we keep it nice and close and almost wrap it into around the spine. So depending on whether we're doing this is kind of like a 45-ish degree angle. You can get straight up pull downs or even horizontal rows. But again, usually the arm staying close to the body, kind of wrapping in towards the spine or going down towards the pelvis is good. This is going to be a single arm one because we can kind of line things up pretty well here. So I'll lock my strap in, line up with the resistance so I can see where that cable is coming from, and I'm going to aim to pull directly against that. Stretch it all out, open that whole lat up, pull directly against. So we'll do this as our kind of vertical, although it's about 45, and then we'll do a horizontal one. And again, thinking about the lat training, we're thinking about some of those fibers that are coming in towards the spine. They all sort of come slightly down. But yeah, there are some that are coming more horizontally in towards the spine, and then some that are going down like that. If you ever see a model of lats, they're kind of coming in and down. So we will do this as one lat movement and then another lat movement where it comes from out front. Again, just to make sure we're trying to train the lats on the overall, ticking all the boxes just like we did with the upper back. All right, is that all I got for you for this one? That's about it. Going well so far, happy days. Let's keep effort and intensity high. Maybe I'll smack myself around a little for this one. We'll see. Unique back exercise to cap off the back work for the day. So after this, working on some shoulders and arms, or biceps, shoulders and biceps. So we're going to go do what's called a neutral grip flexion row. So this is generally speaking going to be an overall back movement where I'm going to flex my whole back intentionally. So in a lot of the movements that we do, deadlifts, rows, all this kind of stuff, we're trying to actively not flex our back, but this one I'm going to actively let my whole spine flex. Big stretch through the lat, so I'm going to get this hectic stretch through here, and then I'm going to pull in. So not only are we getting the lat, the rowing movement, but we're getting that spinal extension and flexion, so we get some of those muscles working here as well. I found this to be really effective to finish off, and what you'll have so far noticed about my back work is that I'll finish with partials at the end of sets. So big flexion of the spine, big stretch, and then we pull in, flexion and stretch, pull in. So same with this one. When I can no longer get reps where I can pull all the way in, I'm going to keep going through the movement until I can't get my arms to the level of my body. So we call these partials, or lengthened partials is a term that's been popularized more recently. So with the back movements, what you'll find is that it's harder finishing the movement than it is at the beginning. So when I can stop, when I can't reach my belly anymore, and this as an example, I'll still be able to get reps in this kind of position here. So I'm going to continue on, and this might get me a little bit closer to failure on this. It's just that don't have the strength in this kind of portion on the pulling movements to kind of finish it. So it doesn't mean I can't do more, because I can do more through here. It just means I can't get it all the way to here. So the length and partials get me a little bit closer to failure on this one. Big stretch, whole back rounds out again, which is normally not recommended, but we're under control here. We extend the spine, we pull the arms in, and just like any other kind of lat rowing movement, arm stays close and comes in towards the spine. Really good finish of this one. We can blast the whole back to finish after doing all the exercises we've done up until now. All right, I think I'm trying to get 10 to 15 on the reps, and then I'll just check my weight that I did last time out. All right, on this day, back work done now, but I sprinkle a little bit of lateral deltoid work just to get a little bit more volume in. So I do a little lateral deltoid work on both my push days and on this day as well. This gives me at least 48 hours break from my last push day and then 48 hours break from this day. So damage or soreness or anything like that should be fine. And I don't usually get too sore in the shoulders, so this is just a way to get that work in on a day that maybe traditionally this kind of exercise doesn't go. Now this is a pretty hectic lateral raise machine. This brand is called MedX. You don't see this around too often. I think it's a bit old school and it looks like a pretty hectic contraption. I'm on a seat here where my feet don't touch the ground, which makes me feel like a little kid again. The angle of this machine I think is what's so pleasing. I think a lot of the ones of these days go right out to the side. I don't think that feels particularly well and potentially doesn't target the lateral deltoid as well, because we want to kind of go a little bit in front of the body, I think, to get the lateral deltoid to work the best. But we go from here and then we raise and then we control, feel that lateral delt work, and then we raise. It's a really nice path where my arm is kind of going a little bit out in front. I'll do 5 sets here. My only lateral deltoid exercise of the day. Feels good. Let's get started and rock it out. Bicep isolation work time. We are going with the machine preacher curl. There's a couple of machine preacher curl options here. This one works best for me, I felt, after a little bit of practice. So the potential downside of a preacher curl is that we really haven't fully stretched the bicep out. So I do a curl on another day where the arm is behind the level of the body with the dumbbells and we're laying down on a bench. Now, because the bicep is what we call a biarticular muscle, it passes both the elbow and into the shoulder. Its job not only is to do this, but also to help raise the arm up there like that. So the opposition of that job would be stretching it or lengthening it out further. So a straight elbow and perhaps a bit behind the body. Now this one here, we don't get our arm behind the body, we get a straight elbow, but we get a lot of difficulty at the bottom. So it's coming down directly against that. So even though it is not fully stretched out, again, because it's not behind the level of the body. It's hard in its fully stretched, in this exercise stretch position, and that might have some merit. And there is some direct research surrounding preacher curls versus things like incline dumbbell curls, and they kind of come out such that they grow different areas of the muscle regionally. So, you know, I would say that doing both over the course of time is worthwhile, not necessarily in the same workout, but getting a little bit of action here, preacher style. Good thing about this one is it's got a bench, so good stability, so it can really go to town, and then getting variations where the arm is behind the body. So I will do both over the course of time. One day I do one behind the back, the other day I do this one. I think I only added this one in last week, any which way. Anyway, so the preacher curl, I have these straps. These aren't necessary, but I use them just to let my grip chill a bit. Get into this position here, and we got that curl. And we can just fucking absolutely go to town on the biceps here. Stability, stretch, down. And that's that. I like this machine. We will build up to our weight, and then we will hit it. So we're here for a while. Only one bicep isolation exercise for today. This is it, but a few sets to get through. So we'll rip into these, and then we'll be right at the finish line, basically. All right, let's go. Last exercise for the day. We're going to isolate the rear delts. So with all of our pulling movements already, the rear delts do a lot through that. So I find that I don't have to do heaps of work for them, but I do want to do a couple of sets where they are the limiting factor and we take them close to failure. So if you think about the pulls, the lat pull downs, and other things that we've done for pulling, it worked, but it's not necessarily a thing that limited me. It's a target muscle. So now we want to make the limiter. Now this exercise is a bit of an abomination of mine from the perspective, like we could do this with the chest fly and rear delt machine that's just over there. But I find the issue with that is it doesn't really allow a large stretch or range of motion for the deltoid or for the shoulder. So like a machine rear delt would only go to something like here. Whereas this one, I'm going to set up my bench with the cable machine, grab, and we're going to get this big stretch across the body here. So you could do this without the bench, but I'm a big fan of creating stability where possible, so we can just focus on the muscles that are working. We don't have to create our own stability. So what I'll do is I'll grab this one, grab the other, get on the bench here, get that stability, and then we're going across like that. Big stretch across the body and bring it across using the rear delt. So I've tried a couple different variations of this, seated, facing in, facing out on the bench. This so far feels the best, most comfortable. So what will happen with this is that one will go over the top of the other arm. I could do this, and on my other back day, I do a single arm version of this, but I don't really want to do each arm. So I'm going to do 2 sets here, dual arm, and just kind of, for this set 1, I'll do one way, set 2, I'll do the other way. All right, let's do it, and let's get out of here. Oof, what a fun workout. That was a banger, that one. That rear delt variation that I just finished on, that was really good as well. So I started closer to horizontal. I moved up one notch, felt a little bit better for me. So I noted that height down and I'll do that going forward. That's quite a good variation of the normally, the chest supported, there's like a machine fly rear delt combo. It just doesn't allow a good stretch. This one, you can customize it, you can make it stretch all the way back, make it hard at the beginning, all that kind of stuff. However, there is that the cables can smack you and get in the way and stuff like that, so you just got to kind of work around that. But I still feel that was very effective, so I'll do that going forward. Happy days. Rest of the workout was good as well. Yeah, it's a fun, long Saturday workout, so I really like this workout. Take a little bit more time, exercise to exercise, enjoy it a little bit more, talk some shit with some people at the gym, all these kinds of things. I find it quite fun, and I reckon taking that extra time allows me to put good intensity into each exercise. But during the week, don't always have as much free time. So, all right, rest of the day, I'm going to hit some uni work, hit some housework, do all the fun weekend stuff that adults have to do. But you don't have to hear about that. You just watch the lifting. It's good stuff. All right, as always, if you guys are liking the content, please hit the little subscribe face up here. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, there's a playlist with all my other workouts in there, and you can see how I train some of the other muscle groups as well. And always remember, it's about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.